disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Mondays, you got Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesdays is CTE with Chris Los and Travis. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Mike, Joe, and Angel. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Fellas, it's showtime. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Gene? Not much this week. Pretty chill week. Celebrated my wife's stepmom's birthday yesterday. She turned 60, and my wife is going to be 21 for the 10th time coming up on the 8th, on the 7th. No, she's going to be 40. So they were both celebrating milestone birthdays.
Are you supposed to be putting out your wife's birthday out there for the world?
She don't care.
Okay.
She don't care. She been talking about it. She makes fun of me because technically she's like a year. So she's a year below me. So I just turned 41. She's just turning 40. So when I turned 40, she's been harassing me the whole year. So as long as she can harass somebody for a whole year, she don't care.
Okay. All right. What's up, Angel? What are you laughing at? What's going on? Are you by yourself? What's going on?
Get out of here.
Wait. So Angel has company with him tonight.
You're really gonna make it sound so crazy on this podcast. No, nothing. I'm just having a good week. Like, what else am I supposed to say?
Okay. How was your weekend? Looks like you're having a good time.
My weekend has been eventful. I was in Cincinnati yesterday at Anthony Price's workout.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did mention that.
And then I came back. I went there and came back on the same 24-hour span. And then today I kind of just been chilling. My week.
How was the training down there with AP?
That was good, man. It was old school. It was AP and TC. Terry Kramer also. So it was old school. It was good, man. And then Sean Elliott, the guy who trains me, we went down there together. So that was cool. So they pretty much all three of them were teaching.
Okay, now was it like a seminar or just a semi-private lesson for you, or was it a team training?
It was more like a team training for the USA team, and then and then but like within that they would all like break down drills, and then we did rounds at the end. So that was cool, man. Got to see Nancy also. Saw Nancy and Noreen, so it was all good.
Okay, all
good stuff. Yeah, and my week is that's pretty much how everything's going.
Okay, and you flew back today, right? Did you have any delays or anything like that?
I drove there and drove back today.
Okay, so you're in Virginia right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I thought last week you said you were flying.
No.
You flew from
Virginia.
That's right.
I mean, now from here, I drove from Virginia to Ohio, and then
that's right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all right. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing spectacular happening.
Okay. All right. Well, my weekend's been pretty cool. I just been around the house pretty much all weekend, just cleaning up, fixing up, straightening up, doing all that good stuff. I finally had a weekend that I was able to do that because I'm always busy and on the go.
I was going to say, you always on the move. So that's shocking to me.
Yeah, man. So this weekend, I was able just to chill here at the house. So yesterday, I got to finally do some straightening up, cleaning up. Took care of some, appliance business. We had to buy a new washer and dryer. Got that done. Got that delivered today. They delivered it, but they didn't bring any of the hookups. So when the guys dropped it off, they just brought the washer and dryer. And I said, are you guys going to install it? They was like, yeah, sure. Do you have, the installation kit? I'm like, I don't have it. Y'all were supposed to bring it. I had to pull up my invoice and show them. They was like, oh, they didn't put it on the truck. So now I got to call Lowe's tomorrow and say, hey, y'all forgot my stuff. And then I got to get somebody to come back out because I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about installing a washer and dryer. I'm not about to mess up. I'm not messing around with gas. I'm not about to have some gas leak in the house. And, because that can end badly for me and Melissa and DJ, so we're not going to have those issues. So
I was always fortunate enough. My dad worked at Sears for 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he started in heating and cooling and dishwashers and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he always was able to help me out with that and show me at least what to do and what not to do.
Got it. Yeah, well, I might have to place a call to Mr. Hartley because if I can't get somebody out here.
Or they still knew some people. So he said, my mom and dad sent one of their friends from Sears out one time.
Man, things not the same anymore, man. Back in the day, you used to be able to get a crackhead to come to your house to do this. But $20, those days are over with, because they just don't get the same type of quality work from crackheads no more like you used to,
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, my God.
What's wrong, Angel?
We are just going way off already, man.
I know some home improvement. I'm not lying, man. I know a couple of home improvement.
Listen, man, we do it different out here.
Listen, I know there was one guy. He was like, he gutted his whole garage, redid the shutters. He redid the roofing, then insulated the inside, literally put flooring, tile, all this stuff. I was like, damn, how much you pay? He was like, oh, only $1,000. I'm like, $1,000? He's like, yeah, no, the guy's on crack. And I was just he was like, and he justified that's the kind of hookup you get if he's on crack. I was like, you crazy, bro. He ended up putting it all together and then takes it all away from you one day to go get some more. You crazy as hell. But there's that, or people work for beer. That's the other thing.
Yeah, but then there's multiple people, and you're actually doing some of the work also at that point, because that's a friend thing. You gotta persuade people to come over for pizza and beer. Then that means you're doing some of the work also. And I'm just not trying to do that stuff no more. I'd rather hire and get it done as opposed to me trying to figure it out, fucking it up, and then having to call somebody to come out and do it anyway. That's how my stuff normally goes, and I can just cut out the middle part, just go right to the source and the people who know how to do this stuff. So, other than that, today, man, we went to go play putt golf. That's where I was at when you sent that message out. So when you said push the time back a little bit for recording, I'm like, okay, cool, we can take our time. I don't have to rush this game, me and. Well,
listen, man, I went out because it's gonna be her birthday this upcoming week. So we went out to just go with her mom and her parents and all that, and then it was a storm on the way back. So I was just like, there's no way I'm gonna make it back at 9. That's why I was like, I just need a little bit more time. But all good.
It's no problem. It all worked out in the end,
Yeah.
So, all right. So this week we're talking about Ip Man. This, you know what, man. I watched this movie before, and we did another podcast before. Actually, I think I'm gonna tell Travis when he labels this, call it Ip Man again, because this is the second time I reviewed and watched the movie. The first time I saw it, I watched. That was back when I watched movies, 2 or 3 times. First time I watched it to enjoy it. The second time I watched it just to pay closer attention, and then the third time I watched it to take notes. And Mike, I get this text message from Mike, like, hell no, I'm not doing this movie. And I'm like, what the hell? Why not? What's going on? It's like, I'm not reading this shit. Because this whole movie was in subtitles. But this was a good movie. I don't know why Mike doesn't like this movie. I really enjoyed it.
No. It's the people that don't do subtitles, that's just some people are just like that, Gene. And it's hard because you're going to miss out on a lot of good movies. Like my top 5 martial arts movies, I think are almost all subtitled. And this one is up there now because this movie is fantastic. If you're a martial arts lover and you love martial arts movies, Like, you have to watch this movie. It is a great movie.
Yeah, and Melissa watched it with me also, and she really got into it. And I was surprised because it was subtitled, but she likes subtitles. I mean, even when a movie is not subtitled, she'll have the closed captioning on, and she's watching.
I've always told people with a subtitled movie, especially a martial arts movie, watch it once and just focus on the reading. Second time, you'll already know the story, so now you can focus on the whole movie. And then watch it a third time just to get the experience. And I know that's a lot, but it's worth it. If you're, otherwise, because I'm used to it. Like, I've gone to the theater and seen movies that are subtitled.
Oh, and I've never done that. I don't know. That might be. I don't know. That might be a horror for me. I don't know if I could do that one. Have you ever done that, Angel?
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, I saw in the theaters. House of the Flying Daggers, I saw in theaters.
Watch a movie at the theater that's subtitled. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, my dad took me out the movie theater. No, I'm not joking. I was sitting there watching. It was Jet Li.
Hero?
Fearless. No,
yeah.
Hell no. Hero was terrible. Don't ever.
I like Hero.
Again.
That's fine.
Don't ever. But
okay, but Fearless is great. Don't dog Fearless.
No. I never got to finish it.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have to do that one.
We were sitting down. He goes, "Oh hell no!" and picked me up and walked out.
Oh, because it was subtitled. He wasn't gonna try and read it, right?
Yeah, and it was supposed to be like Jet Li's like last like movie or whatever it was, like in terms of like a martial arts. They worded it somehow, and then we went to the movie theater to go see it, and it was all subtitled. That was the first time I've ever seen a movie theater subtitle movie. I never saw that before.
Well, you didn't actually see that movie either. I mean, you got snatched out. So
I'm saying like first like 10 minutes, like we walked out. He was not gonna sit there and watch it.
Did you fuss about it? Like, I mean, you were obviously you were a kid. So.
You get smacked in the mouth for that? You crazy? Okay, Dad. Whatever you say, we'll leave.
Yeah, don't play.
So this movie was good. What year did this take place? Was this 1936?
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning.
36. How much of this do you think is true of this movie?
About as much as true in Birth of the Dragon.
Well,
I'm being serious. I feel like a portion of it was true, and the rest was just Hollywood theatrics.
Interesting.
Has nothing to do with how good the movie is. It's just we're going off like facts. Like I don't think
it's an interpretation. I'm assuming of somebody's perspective. Because even at the end, when they show him and Bruce Lee together, he looks nothing like Donnie Yen. Like,
well, I mean, he was a lot older, also.
I know, I agree, but just still.
By that time,
I'm gonna tell you my two favorite things about this movie. The storyline was fantastic. Like it was a intriguing story, and the martial art was some of the most real martial. Like it wasn't no flying around. There wasn't a bunch of jump spinning kicks. Like it was just block and punch, kick.
Yeah, pretty much. And
he was fast. Holy crap! Like how many punches was he throwing when he was hitting them with like the machine gun punches?
Oh, I don't know.
I tried to kill. I think I got to 12, and he was still going.
You know what this movie really did for me though? It really made me want to see a real life kung fu fight. I've never seen a kung fu fight. Not one time have I ever seen it. Whether sparring or a real, fight. I really want to see it because I'm just curious to see how it would be in real life.
Do you want to see Kung Fu versus Kung Fu, or do you want to see like Kung Fu versus Taekwondo?
No, I don't want to see that. No.
I want to see Kung Fu versus Kung Fu, and I also want to see a Kung Fu person versus somebody who does not have any martial arts skills.
Me too.
I want to see. I mean, because they're doing all these different blocks and strikes and counters and things like that. I just want to see how that would be in a real fight. Because the type of fighting that we do it will be easy for us to get out of point fighting mode and get into self-defense mode, because it's going to be similar. Yeah. I tell my students all the time, I'm not training you to be a fighter, like in a real life situation. I'm teaching you to win a fight. We're trying to hit somebody 2 or 3 times and the fight is done.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we're doing, you know. So I'm just curious to see this type of martial arts in a real life situation. I've never seen anybody that was a kung fu fighter in the UFC. At least as far as I know, I haven't seen anybody. And I've never seen them sparring against each other before. And I've never seen a kung fu person, you know, in a self-defense situation, you know. So I just want to see these type of moves in some other hand-to-hand combat type of form, you know, besides being in the movie, you know. Have you guys ever seen kung fu guys sparring against each other? I know I fought some in tournaments, but they didn't do too good fighting me in tournaments.
They showed up at the dojo one time.
Well, yeah, and
they were not trained well.
I beat the brakes off of them. Yeah, I know. But those guys,
it was a bad day for the two of them.
Those guys, I didn't even look at those guys as being real kung fu guys. They were,
but they thought they were. They thought
they were
Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
and then they had every excuse that they had for getting tagged, like lumped up, like it's because of this. It's like, bro, you came in here. Fun. Like,
I had fun. Angel, I had
everybody
fun.
Had fun. Everybody had fun except for them.
That's back when I was wild and crazy. Not as wild and crazy as Travis, you know. And at this point in time, like as an instructor now, if that happened in my school, if my students are beating up on someone the way that we did, I probably would stop it, and I probably wouldn't allow those guys to continue fighting. I probably would say, you know what, this might not be the best for you guys, or I might have to pull the kids to the side and say, hey, fight them like they're a white belt or a gold belt or something like that. Those guys was terrible, and we did not have mercy on them at all. we were really Cobra Kai that day, Joe.
Listen, man, I went through it, so everybody else has to go through it. I came in,
but you came in
from another place before I joined up.
Yeah, but
I got the brakes beat off me every time.
But
you guys were looking at me like I was crazy for coming back.
No, but you know, Joe, you weren't there. You were there to be a part of the family. These guys that came, they weren't there to be a part of the family. They were. No,
they were. I think they thought they were challenging.
Exactly. That's what they thought. And you know, originally, you know, they came more than once. Angel. The first time they came, our heavy hitters weren't there. Like I wasn't there. I was away at school. I think Ski and Travis and Willie were at the tournament. So they picked.
Willie was still there? Oh God.
Yeah, Willie was still there. Yeah, Willie was still there.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, y'all be painting this picture, be making me think like Coach Potter is a real different man than I thought he was.
Oh, he's 100% different from how he is now. The Richard Plowden that you guys know is not the same Richard Plowden that trained us. It's a different person. You know, I remember one time, this is before your time, Joe, because we were younger. Ski told him, like, Ski was mad with the class at one point. And Ski was like, why don't you train with us? Why did he say that? Why would he say that?
Why did he say that?
So Unc was like, okay, I'll train with y'all. He put us through one of his workouts. Dead tired, man. He killed us.
Do you know?
And I'm not talking about sparring. I'm just talking about just physical working out and training.
I tell this to everybody, in my prime, like 18, 19, 20, he would just suit up out of the blue.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And all my goal was to hit him once. Just hit him once. With anything. I don't care what it is. I was even willing to take it. I never was able to. I couldn't touch him. Touch him.
My goal was just.
And he looked like he was just playing with me. He looked like he was just playing with me. And, it really. And I'm just like, this is why I'm here.
Yeah. Angel, one time he hit Ski with a back leg front snap kick that sent Ski up in the air. He shot up like a firecracker, man. Yeah. So, you know, but we kept coming back. But that, like I tell my students all the time, like, you got to take those lumps. It makes you better in the long run as a martial artist, you know. So
I'm just saying, just like he saw these dudes get messed up, and he said, "Nah, it's all right." They just
no. Anytime someone is running their mouth or talking mess, and they come into the school, you know, he would let us off the leash. You know,
so talking trash.
They were talking trash also. Like I said, I believe they were Peter Davenport's friends. I think they were Pete's friends from
Were they
school.
really?
No, and Pete gonna let his friends get dogged like that. Damn.
So I don't know what I mean. I don't know if Pete did that on purpose. Like if they were at school running their mouth, people was like, okay, come to my school and see what's going on. I don't know.
I was gonna say
But-
Pete would know better. So
Yeah, like I know Pete did not think they were, you know, good. I know he wouldn't have thought that. You know, he probably was like, you know, come on, let's see how good you guys really.
I hope they listen to the podcast and make a comment.
I wouldn't
really
even know
do.
these guys. I wouldn't know these guys. They could be parents at my school right now, and I wouldn't know them. I really don't know. I have no idea what these guys look like now. Like I could have did business with them. You know, I could have worked for them or worked with them. You know, I really don't know what these guys look like. I don't know their names, no nothing. All I saw was a body, and I was gonna hit it. That's all I cared about was hitting them. You know, but like back to my point, man. I would like to see. I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up on YouTube. Some kung fu fights.
I feel like you're not gonna get good videos of that.
No, not gonna get any on YouTube. You looked it up before?
I have. Everything I see, it just looks like it looks like old K1 videos where they're trying to make like the Muay Thai guy fight the Wing Chun guy, and the guy gets knocked out and everything. It ain't.
Nah. Yeah, I'm not. That's not what I want to see.
Yeah, it don't look good. You don't want that.
Dude, I mean, do they have their own tournaments? I know Taekwondo.
They do.
They have their own tournaments,
I don't know if there's sparring in it. That's something I don't know.
So it would just be a forms tournament?
Kind of.
That's interesting.
Would be
That would be interesting. Yeah. All right. So let me ask you guys this. Ip Man, he was rich at the beginning of this movie. Do we know how he got his fortune?
No.
Okay. I didn't know. And the only reason I asked, I know they didn't say it in the movie. I didn't know if you guys knew any backstory to what happened to this guy or how he got this money.
No, I don't know nothing about him, actually.
They never said anything about it. Maybe Jeff knows.
Of course, Jeff knows.
You know,
Of course, Jeff knows. So, Ip Man is with his family at the beginning of this movie. He's having dinner. And his wife is already irritated because he's always sparring all the time, every day. You know, his friends come by, students. Now, he doesn't have any of his own students. He's not running a school. But people would come by just to spar with him. And there was an instructor who came by to spar with him when he was new. He just started at school, and they sparred. The reason this is important because somebody witnesses this fight. Even though this fight happens in his house, this kid was looking for his kite, and it got up in a tree, and it was by Ip Man's house. So he climbed up there to get his kite, and he's looking in. He sees this fight with Ip Man, and I think the guy's name was Master. Was it Master Lee or Master Lu? I think it was Master
Lee.
Lu. I'm not sure. Whatever, Lee or Lu, whatever. And he loses to Ip Man. He realizes how good Ip Man is, and he leaves. But he asked Ip Man not to say anything to anybody because he didn't want his reputation to get messed up. So Ip Man said, "Yeah, I won't say anything." But the boy goes and he tells everyone in town that he witnessed this fight, and he kind of exaggerated the fight. Also, he made it be more than what it really was. You know. What did you guys think about the fight?
I mean, honestly, if everyone knows that Ip Man is the man, and you still got a good school, I understand like the whole worried about your reputation, but I mean, you're going against the best, man.
Mm-hmm.
Be lucky he didn't like knock your ass out.
Right. So he beats Captain. Captain. I'm looking at that. That was Captain Lee on the screen right now. He beats Master Lu in this fight. And the boy is now embarrassed. Now, Ip Man didn't even stick up for the boy either, because the boy is confronted by his brother.
Stick up for him.
Yeah. So it made the boy look like he was a liar because his brother kind of embarrassed him in front of everyone. And then Master Lu was also pissed off at the boy. He wanted to kill the boy. and he ends up running away because his brother, embarrassed him. He ends up running away. And honestly, I forgot all about the kid until later on when he shows up again later on. I didn't think nothing else about the kid.
Go fly a kite, kid.
Yeah. It was just like, all right, go cry home to mommy. Go tell your mom. Tell your dad. What happened.
Yeah.
But it's things like this that we know really happened at that time. Back in the day, people used to go to dojos and challenge the masters to see who was the best, whether in private or in a public setting, like we see later on. Now, Ip Man also has a brother. Now, his brother is a businessman, and he wants to open a mill, and Ip Man gives him money to open this mill. They want him to come work for him, but he doesn't want to. I was really curious what he did, how he got his money, and what he was doing now. Like, he didn't have a school. It seemed like he was some type of investor or something, because he didn't have to do
something
anything.
like that.
He had a butler.
He was just chilling.
Yeah, he had a butler. He had a nice home. It was crazy. I originally thought that Ip Man was an instructor. I thought he had a school that he just let someone else teach at, but that didn't seem to be the case.
Because they kind of said afterwards that he started teaching, like after this, with the events that took place in this movie.
Yeah, when he I guess when he gets to Hong Kong is when he starts to. One of the things that really was interesting to me, though, Ip Man is looked at as being the man. He's the best fighter in this town. And it made me think about Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee is Ip Man's student. And Bruce Lee's whole thing was, I'm going to take out what is worthless, what I don't need, and I'm going to add to my style from these other things. So it made me wonder, like, wow, what was Ip Man teaching that Bruce Lee considered something that didn't make sense to do in his teachings, Yeah. Have you guys ever saw a documentary about Ip Man?
No.
Or anything like that? No? Okay. All right. Angel, do you have anything to add to this?
No, I mean, the one thing I was just going to say was just off that first fight scene, I got hyped off the movie. Just because I was like, I mean, like how Joe said, the fight scenes in this were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good fight scenes.
You all, after watching it for so long, you kind of forget that you're actually reading.
Yeah.
You kind of, because what I was doing, I had to, say, hey, why am I crazy? I had my fan going on in the house, right? So every now and then I would turn up the volume. And eventually I was like, why am I turning up the volume and I'm reading it? It doesn't make any sense. But I just got into it and I gave these characters their own voice in my head as I was reading it,
Yep.
Now, Ip Man's wife is definitely upset with all of the fighting and things like that. And
on top of that, he's fighting, but then at this point in the next couple scenes, he kind of ignoring his child while he's doing like a lesson with this next fight. Yes.
His son is drawing pictures and he's not really giving him that much attention, which is I understand that. I get that. So and he realized it also when he's looking at the picture that his son did. He's like, you know what? All right, fine. I'm going to make it a commitment to spend more time. The next scene, though, we see some guys, some newcomers. They're coming into the village, and they're just there for trouble. They, I guess they had been. We find out they have been going from town to town to town, trying to get money. They were broke. They're hungry. They don't have any money for themselves, so they are going to challenge all of the different masters and open up their own school and show this village that they are the best martial artists and everyone should be training with them. And they're doing a good thing. They're beating all these guys up.
Just the one guy. He's got an entourage, but
yeah,
doing all the beating up.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anything like this, Angel or Joe? But it's almost like they had a street that was almost like a cul-de-sac that had all of these martial arts schools. next to each
Yeah,
other.
That was interesting because how do you choose which one you want to go to?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, how do you decide what school to try? I mean, at the end of the day, I would have just been like, I'm training with Ip Man.
Exactly.
Everyone knows that he's the best, you know.
Right?
So like, how do you go? Like, how do you know that, but still go train with one of these other guys? Even though because I get it that he's not teaching, but like, how do you determine who is the second best teacher to go train with? You know. True. So these guys, well, one of these guys, did they give this guy a name? Do you know his name at all? I don't know.
Sure they said something, but I didn't catch it.
Yeah, okay. So this guy's beating up all of the masters. I thought he would have just took over the school. It's like, look, I beat your master. Now you guys should train with me. And I'm by the way these people are looking, they probably would have did it. You know. It didn't seem like he was killing these guys though, as he was beating these masters. He looked like he was just beating them up. Eventually, I think the kid's name was Lin, the brother of the kid with the kite.
Yeah.
He ends up running away and going to Ip Man and telling Ip Man, like, hey, we have newcomers in the town. They're beating up all of the masters. You know, this is bad. You know, can you come help? Now, at the time, Ip Man was with his family. So he just told his wife, you know, that he was going to stop with all the fighting and just spend time more with them. But he still, he knows that something is going on, that he needs to handle this. But he really doesn't get a chance to go handle it because this guy ends up coming to him and looking for a fight, you know.
Oh, of course.
And now when he comes, you know, he brings his entourage, but the whole town comes also. And they're there to watch. The police even come, and the police are like, yo, because Ip Man thought that the police are just going to take everybody away, but the police are like, no, you have to restore our honor, you know. So the guy's in the house, and he's insulting his kid, he's insulting his wife. He eventually pisses off his wife. Now she doesn't care. Now he has the green light to beat his ass.
Hell yeah.
Now she doesn't want any of her stuff getting broke. So every time he knocks something over or breaks something, he'll just say, I'll pay for it. And you would have thought that was a good thing, but we already know that he doesn't have any money to replace any of the things that he breaks.
He's starving. He thinks he's gonna make all the money after he beats up Ip Man or something?
I'm assuming that's what he did think. And he was real braggadocious about it. So after the fight, he kind of just walks out, and everybody knows. They don't say, hey, I lost to Ip Man. Ip Man doesn't say I beat him up. You know, you can just tell by the look on his face as he walks out. They all know, the town knows that Ip Man beat this guy. What did you guys think about the fight scene? Because I like every fight scene in this movie. It was not bad at all.
Same.
You got anything, Angel?
Scenes.
No, man. Like how you said, the fight scenes were really good. There was a few times they had some stuff that I would look at and just be like, there ain't no one doing that. But
I get it.
But I think that's just the culture of the movie. I think they always add that in there, which I'm also kind of like, I'm fine with it because everything else seemed pretty, everything else was to the ground and seemed pretty tactical. Like I could see it being used, I could see it working. So,
we're gonna start seeing in the second, third, and fourth. They start to ramp it up a little bit. There's going to be a lot of cameos. They're good fight scenes still, but they start getting a little wild with it.
I got you. I got what you're saying. So now after this fight, everyone is really, really appreciative of Ip Man. Everyone is happy. They're giving him things as he's walking through the town. They're giving his wife things. They're giving his kid things. They're just really, really happy. And his brother comes to him again and was like, everybody wants him to start a school. He has all these people in front of his house. They want to train with him, but he just still doesn't want to do it. Even his own nephew, he won't train his own nephew. And this made me wonder, who trained Ip Man? Where did he get his skills from?
I'm sure that there's probably a documentary out there or something. I'm sure.
Possibly.
I'll have to look it up.
And
we can finish these movies and then watch that too if it's good enough.
Yeah. Now this is where the whole movie goes left. The first time I saw this movie, I didn't see any of this coming.
Yeah.
I this gets real depressing really, really quick. Because we just had this good fight, everyone is joyous, everybody's happy, and then the dark time comes. Japan invades China, and they are taking over everywhere. At least in this little town, they're taking over everything. They're killing the Chinese people. They're making them work for them. It's just a bad time. And this is 1937 at this point. Yeah, they left them with nothing. A lot of people were hungry. Ip Man ended up losing his house to the Japanese. They ended up taking over his house and what did they turn it into, a fort or something, or a training base or something? They took over his house. We have people living on the streets. We have people hungry. It seems like all these people were able to eat with rice and potatoes. They didn't have anything else to eat. Yeah, nothing else. There wasn't much work. Everybody's looking for work. The movie almost looked like it went from being full color to black and white all of a sudden. You know?
Yeah, it really did. That was crazy.
Mad dim view to it, right? It just
yeah.
It
just got gloomy. It just got gloomy really, really fast. What did you guys think about this?
It was pretty, like you said, it was depressing. It was crazy, but even more crazy. So all these people are getting picked to work, and you kind of notice that they're picking all karate people. They're picking all martial arts people.
Yeah.
And then you kind of find out why a couple scenes later, because they're asking people, hey, if you want to fight, if you can fight for some food. You know, each fight you win, you get what, a bag of rice or something like that?
Yeah.
But of course, that was a whole rigged situation, we found out.
Right. Well, Ip Man got his job because he was Ip Man, because he eventually was asking for work. Now, there is no way I would have did that, man. If my brother has a meal and I invested in that meal, I'm going to go work at the meal. But
the problem was the mill they had a bunch of people working, but they weren't selling.
Yeah, they hadn't sold anything yet. But eventually they would have sold something.
You hope.
Yeah. I mean, those people that worked in that mill didn't look hungry. They didn't look like they didn't look like the same people that were in that shoveling coal. And that's where he ended up going and taking the job. And the guy who hired him remembered that he was Ip Man, and he wanted to give him a job because he was a martial artist. He was looking after the martial artists. And that's when he sees Lin. He's there also shoveling coal, and some other martial artists that we saw earlier in the movie. That there was a tin can that Lin had that he lost. He was looking for it, and that comes into play later on in the movie. And then, like you said, Joe, that's when some of the Japanese soldiers and the guy who was the police captain, Captain Lee, he's now as an interpreter for the Japanese now. So he's working with them, and he comes to this coal mine, and he says, "I'm looking for fighters. Anybody wants to fight? Come fight the Japanese. Come with me." And Lin goes, some other people. Ip Man didn't want to have anything to do with it.
No, he never really wants to fight.
No, he doesn't. And Lin ends up going, and at the end of the day, he ends up getting messed up. We also see a Master Lu there. He's fighting, and he's winning. We see him winning also. But when Lin is there, Lin was part of a group of guys who fought the Japanese. I think it was 3 of them who ended up fighting. And at one time. What's up, Angel?
He fought the general.
Was that the general that he fought?
Lin, yeah.
Yeah, that was the general.
Yeah, because he.
Oh yeah. It was him and 2 other guys.
He said them 3 versus the general. Whether they win or lose, they end up getting the rice anyways.
Right.
Yeah, but they got messed up pretty bad.
Yeah.
Lin was dumb.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he definitely was. Like, it seemed like he had a death wish. And he ends up dying. We don't see him anymore.
Oh.
He took the hardest spinning back kick I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But with this happening now, the next time it happens, Ip Man wants to see what's going on, so he ends up going, and he finds out right away what's going on, which was crazy because who was it that went out there?
Master
Did he
Luke.
win? Yeah, did he win the fight and then get shot?
Well, he won the first fight, and then he asked to fight 10 guys.
He asked to fight 10?
No. Master Luke fought 3.
That's right.
Yeah.
He lost.
My bad.
I was gonna say only Ip Man asked for 10.
When he lost, he took the rice, and then they shot him to teach him a lesson. But
Right.
Well, that guy was a psychopath. That shot.
Ip Man said he'll fight 10 people.
Right. And he gets out there. But
That was
now
the
he got out
best
there. He was pissed. Yeah, it was. It was a good fight.
That was the best. That was the best fight.
Right.
That was that was them paying homage to Bruce Lee.
Seriously though, I watched that fight like 4 times because that was crazy.
Do you believe that was real, or do you think that was made up?
I don't care if I want it to be real. Dude, at the end, he was punching that guy so many times, it was so fast. He just pop. It's like, dang.
Why did you say my name like that, Angel?
I was like, wait, really? You think that one's real?
I'm asking you.
No, man. Listen, if you're of equal skill with everyone, I don't think you're making it through 10 people.
The reason I say that, Angel, the reason I asked that question was because we know that this has some type of historical facts to it. Now, we don't know what's real and what's fake, but we do know that this general obviously had an issue with Ip Man for some reason. So what other issue could there have been that he sent people looking for him if he didn't fight and beat up some of his guys the way that he did?
Because he wanted to fight the best. The general wanted to test himself against the best the Chinese had to offer. Remember, there was like a rivalry between China and Japan. So he wants to prove that Japanese, as they say, Japanese Kung Fu, but Japanese martial arts is better than Chinese martial arts.
So do you think, Angel, that in real life, not
he
based upon the movies,
face and broke his neck? Holy shit.
And not based upon the movie, but based upon what you think, do you think in real life he just kind of heard Ip Man was the man of this town, and that's why he went looking for him and wanted to fight him? Yeah, that could be a possibility. Now, I'm not saying that he fought 10 people in real life. It could have been 3. It could have been 3 or 4 guys that he fought in real life. I'm not saying he fought 10.
Bro,
so I don't want to get a bunch of messages saying that that was fake.
Bro, those are the most punches I've ever seen in under 10 seconds. It was ridiculous.
That was crazy.
But yeah, no, I mean, Gene, in Japan, it was known for you to go, as we saw in Black Belt, it was known for you to go to different villages and challenge the best fighter to the death, mostly.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
The other thing I like about the fighting in this, all his stuff was pretty precise. If he was going to hit you in the stomach, it wasn't just going to be in the ribs. It was going to be right in the solar plex where it's going to hurt the most.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the neck. It was to the temple. I mean, these are all striking points that are going to put you down pretty quick.
Right. And that's what I was asking earlier about what was it that Ip Man had taught Bruce Lee that Bruce Lee did not agree with? It was probably forms. Bruce Lee was like, I'm not doing this shit. I'm not doing these damn forms. Maybe that's what it was.
According to the documentary, he had a problem with the traditional aspects of just regular martial arts, like too much tradition, not enough fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, forms and basics. Basically,
yeah, I'm not stepping forward doing no low blocks or inside to outside middle blocks, high blocks. Yeah. Okay. So so this fight. So the general, I like the fact that after the fight, all of these Japanese soldiers, they just threw a bunch of rice bags at Ip Man. But the general only kicked one to him. He didn't kick all of them or tell them to come get all of them. And even still, after that, only thing Ip Man wanted was the bag of rice that was supposed to have gone to Master Luke. Because he picks that bag up. He doesn't take the bag for himself.
Covered in blood.
Now that's kind of messed up. He should have took one of the other ones that they kicked to him and took that one to his wife and gave that to him, as opposed to the bloody one. Like, because that would have been. I mean, they might not even wanted to eat the rice, you know?
Oh, and it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
Don't traumatize that man's family.
Yeah. So he takes a bloody bag of rice and gives it to the family, which it's kind of messed up. But the general tells him that he can come back anytime to fight. Do you believe? I believe if Ip Man had came back again to fight these guys, I believe they probably would have killed him. I don't think he would have walked away.
No, I think the general wanted to kill him himself. So I think he would have let him fight a few more times.
Oh, he possibly did, but I don't think that other guy, that crazy guy, what was his name? The corporal, was he a corporal or a captain? That guy, because he killed Lou for no reason. He killed Master Lou for no reason. Like Master Lou gave up. He said, "Okay, I lost." And he was going to just take his one bag of rice, leave, and this guy just shoots him in the head and kills him for no reason.
But see, that guy was not following any orders. He was a loose cannon because the general did yell at him about that.
Mm-hmm. And I believe if Ip Man had came back to this place and he beat up the general, that guy definitely would have shot him in the head, because we saw what he did at the end of this movie.
Probably, yep. Oh
yeah. So now Ip Man has a talk with the interpreter / ex-captain Lee, and he just yells at him, tells him that he's a traitor. Like, how can you work with these guys?
Oh, he tells him straight up he's a traitor and a bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, more or less.
And his feelings were hurt by that. He's like, I'm Chinese, I got to eat. I'm just an interpreter. But it didn't matter to Ip Man. Ip Man's living conditions were kind of messed up. Also, they went from living in this beautiful house to look like they were living in an alley in an abandoned house. That's what it looked like when they were living. Something like that. Yeah. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead. Skip forward a little bit.
They send a crew out to find Ip Man, and luckily the police captain, like you said, doesn't exactly, but they beat the crap out of him. So he kind of has to. He says he don't know where he is, but somehow they find him.
Right. Now, also at the same time, we see those group of out-of-towners. They are carjacking and stealing things. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, some of the stuff they took were the materials that were for the meal. So they take the stuff back to the mill and say, well, we got your things. If you want to get it back, give me money for these things. And my brother tells him, like, I don't have any money. We haven't sold anything. Mm-hmm. And he starts to beat him. And he even beats his son, slaps his son around. And the son ends up running and getting Ip Man and telling Ip Man, like, we need help. My dad is, being beat up by these guys. When Ip Man gets back, these guys are already gone. So this guy, he gives them time. He believes them, but he says he doesn't have any money because they're beating them. So he tells them, okay, we'll give you some time to get the money together, and we'll be back. So when Ip Man gets there, his brother, like, I'm not a martial artist, I'm a businessman. Help, my employees fight, teach them how to fight, and Ip Man, feels bad for him, and that's exactly what he does. He teaches this factory full of people to work. Now, when this happens, I was wondering if this was now his job. Was he not returning to the coal mine? Because we never really see him return to the coal mine after that.
No, he was kind of laying low.
Yeah. I'm assuming he probably didn't want to, keep getting into it with the Japanese army or military.
Well, and he took out 4, so they were really looking for him now, and the police captain was hiding them out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was messed up. When they came looking. Man, that was a messed up scene when his son is pretending to shoot at him and they have a gun. If anybody ever had a gun on my kid,
playing or not,
it's no playing. That's automatically a real life situation.
Oh yeah, you're dead.
You're getting fucked up.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, you don't do that. I mean, any father would say that. Yeah. That's. So, when he beat those guys up when they came looking for him, they wanted to bring him back to fight. And then they went after his wife also. Itman didn't have a choice. He had to beat these guys up, and I'm surprised he didn't kill. I don't know if he killed them or not, because when he got done with them, they were just laying on the ground.
He messed them up pretty bad.
Yeah, he messed them up real bad. Angel, you got anything?
No, man, just literally just you guys are covering it. I still just wonder, was he really that good in real life? Like, I know it was a dramatization, but just like the way he I think Joe hit the nail on the head. Like he was just so precise. Like just the areas he would hit, he would like elbow your spine. The way he just how I said, like he just stepped on your face. But like I've never seen in any movie where you step on someone's face and it snaps their neck.
Mm.
Like so, just stuff like that. I just wonder if he was really that good.
I think that was a little showmanship, but like I said,
don't know, man, I could believe that actually.
To me, the difference in a street fight with a martial artist compared to just a regular street fighter is like we're trained to move, like to move around and move out of the way. We're trained to block, which most people, they don't see that coming.
And you know what else we do? We train to do, Joe.
Yeah,
we train not to get hit.
That's what I'm saying.
We train not to get hit.
A lot of people. So most of the time in a street fight, three things are going to happen. Someone's going to try to tackle you to the ground and hit you.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to swing on you like a big swing, which is to do that to me all day because I'm going to jack you up. Because it's going to be block punch. Just right. I'm going to punch you right in the throat or the nose because I'm going to make sure you feel it. And so those are the things. So I think that's kind of what, yes, we have to dramatize it up for a movie, but I think that's kind of what he was probably really fast. He knows how to move and block. And he was very precise with his hits, which I think Bruce Lee was the same way. Bruce Lee could move. He had kicks, and he was just precise in his movement.
Angel, also, I think there were so many people around this time. They had to have written notes or stories about this guy. None of these people are alive now. This is almost, we're getting close to this almost being 100 years ago. But at that time, like when Bruce Lee started coming up, when Bruce Lee was alive, these people should have still been alive. Some of these people were still alive. And I'm quite sure that there were plenty of stories about Ip Man. So I think that some things could have been proven to be true and some things could have been proven to be false. And I think that what Hollywood did was, they just kind of blended, some of that all together. But I believe that he probably was very, very good. So now these guys eventually end up coming back to look for the money. But now this time, Ip Man is there. And the workers are fighters also now. Now, they're not the best fighters.
They hold their own and they have the numbers.
Right.
But if the main guy would have jumped in, which he didn't really get a chance to, they would have he would have jacked them up.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, Ip Man showed up at the right time.
Yeah, he did. And little brother is there also. He's there, and this guy he's just an idiot because he knows he really does. He knows how good Ip Man is, and he knows that he's not a fighter, so he should not have tried to fight Ip Man at all. No, and we saw what happened to him and the main guy. That guy once again, he should have won it. You couldn't beat Ip Man by yourself.
Yeah.
So what makes you? And this is when he wasn't even mad at you. You couldn't.
Okay, but little brother wasn't trying to fight him. He was staying back. But that guy basically told him, get in there. What are you doing?
Yeah, but he still.
I'd have been like, nah, bro, I'm out.
He should have known better. He should have.
I'm not part of this. I'm out of this gang. I'm gonna go play with my kite.
Right.
No.
Yeah. So eventually these guys have had enough, and they ended up leaving. They leave the mill. They know that they weren't going to be able to get the best of Ip Man. And when little brother is leaving, Ip Man stops him. Now this part was a little stupid to me. Like, why would Ip Man on this particular day? Why would he have the tin can? He should not have had it. Like that would have been on my dresser at home or something. I'm not going to walk around.
He might have been carrying it around in hopes that he came across the brother. Who knows?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's how the movie made it look like. But like, I'm not. Me personally, I'm not caring. I mean, I'm stressing out about carrying around 3 phones, wallets, keys, and all types of stuff. So he got this little tin can. Like that would have stayed at home. My kid probably would have been playing with it. So he eventually gives it. He tells him that his brother's dead, and he ends up giving him the tin can. And in the tin can was the kite that he had earlier in the movie. So
he should have burned that kite, because you know what? That kite caused him all kinds of trouble.
It did.
I was looking at that going, man, you know what? Like, I get his brother was all sentimental with his kite and shit, but that kite caused you all kinds of... You're in this situation because of that damn kite.
Right. Now, because of the fight, a word got back to the general that Ip-Man had been seen at the mill, so the army comes to the mill to look for him. And the interpreter ends up coming to Ip-Man, telling him to stay away from the mill. The general knows you're there. But, Ip-Man runs to them because he knows that, he didn't want anybody else to get hurt. Now he tells his brother eventually, like, hey, get my wife and my son out of here. Ip-Man already wanted to go to Hong Kong. He kind of had enough, and he was going to move to Hong Kong. He just didn't get the opportunity.
He said he had people there that he could trust. So, if something happened to him, his wife and son and brother would be taken care of.
Right. But when they get there, he sees the general. They have guns on them. And the funny part was the interpreter, because what Ip-Man is saying and what the general are saying to each other, the interpreter is not saying those words.
Oh no, he was doing that the whole time.
Yeah, he's not saying that, because pretty much Ip-Man would say something like, "Hey, you can kiss my ass," and the interpreter would say, "Oh, well, he wants to think about it." He was doing things like that. Well, eventually, Ip-Man decides, okay, I'm going to fight the general. This is going to be, we're going to get this over with. They take him, they put him in jail. They try to feed him. He doesn't want any of their food. Now, in this jail scene, it seems like the general and Ip-Man are talking to each other. And Melissa asked me about that, actually. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe they're just talking. And they don't realize they don't understand each other. Even though if the interpreter was there to interpret it, it would seem like these two are understanding each other based upon the responses that they were giving to each other. But I don't think I don't think they could understand each other. So they end up having a fight. This fight wasn't that long either. Ip-Man pretty much beats him up relatively quickly.
Yeah, he messed him up bad.
Yeah, he beats the general up pretty bad and puts him down on the ground. And when that happened, his boy once again pulls out a gun and he shoots Ip-Man. It looks like in the upper chest / shoulder area is where he hits him. And then he falls off of the platform, and it seems like all hell breaks loose at that point in time. All of the villagers are pissed, and they start attacking the Japanese soldiers. And at some point in time, someone, Ip-Man's wife ends up showing up. His brother was supposed to take her away, but she talks him into coming back so she can see him. So she saw him.
That's a bad brother. That's a bad brother.
She saw him get shot and fall down, so she ran.
Gunshot wound or not. If I saw that and you were my brother, I'll punch you in the face.
Because I told you to get her out of here, right?
Yeah, man. Don't put my wife and kid in danger. Come on, man.
Right. And then that's pretty much the end of the movie. After he gets shot, and we see some other words saying that they let us know that he lived the gunshot, and him and his family ends up escaping and getting to Hong Kong. And then it just goes over his history there in Hong Kong, pretty much. Now, out of all the movies, and that was pretty much the end, out of all of these movies, I think that this might have been the most factual movie. And I haven't seen any of the other movies yet, but I think that this is probably going to be the one that's probably the most factual. What do you guys think?
No, the next three are more like pandering to the character. And like I said, there's going to be cameos. Some of the fight scenes are getting a little more crazy. They're not as realistic as this one. This one is the best of the three. Of the four movies, in my opinion.
Okay. All right.
But they're all fun movies. They're still great fight scenes. They're just, like I said, I think they're more going off the popularity of that character than they are giving us anything of his life.
Okay. All right. And you said Bruce Lee shows up in the fourth movie, the last one? Is that what you said, Joe, or Angel?
I think he shows up in the fourth.
Mhm.
Yeah, because Mike Tyson's in the third. I forget who's in the second. So
Mike
I think
Tyson.
Bruce Lee does.
Okay. Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Mike Tyson has a fight scene in the third.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's do our grades. What grade do you give this movie?
I'm going A+. I love this movie. This is a great movie.
Angel.
Might be my first one. So
A+.
Me too. A+. 3 A+. How about that? How you love that? Have we ever done that before?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think
You
so
know,
either.
like I said, for me to watch a martial arts movie, if you can give me a good storyline, some good fight scenes, and
Mhm.
Overall I enjoy the movie, and it's not super long or super boring. Yeah, it's an A+. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it really wasn't much to pick apart in this movie. I don't know about the next ones that we watch. I guess August is about to be an Ip Man month because we got 4 movies, and I think it's 4 weeks in August. So we're gonna cover one, I guess, every week. Yeah, so it's pretty good. A+ is all around.
Yeah.
And you said this is your favorite, Angel. Is this your favorite out of all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sweet. Any closing remarks, guys?
I'm good.
Nothing.
No.
Well, sweet. That was this was a good podcast. No complaining, no arguing, no fighting. Angel ain't do nothing crazy. Not
I'm
verbally.
not.
Not verbally. Y'all can't see what we can see.
I didn't insult anybody or any race or any,
That's
no
sweet.
HR position, no HR issues this week.
Nope.
All right, well, cool. So next week we got Ip Man. Is it just called Ip Man 2, or is there I started watching some of this because me and Mike were gonna do it, or me and Jeff, or me and Alex, me and somebody were gonna do it. I don't know what happened with that though, because I didn't finish watching it. But from what I saw, I was enjoying the second movie. So looking forward to turning that back on and watching it again.
It's Ip Man 2: Legend of the Grandmaster.
Okay, sweet. Any closing remarks, guys?
No, I'm all set.
All right, cool. Well, everybody stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you guys next week, and I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.